What is up, everybody? It's the Splitting Twigs crew. We got Chase and Will today. We have Infamous Hockey with us over on. Oh, we're frozen. Oh, we frozen. It's not liking it. Well, let's we gonna do this today. Our little Blade Tech thing don't like us. But again, I'm Austin, and we doing things today. So don't mind me. Chase, how are you? Yeah. Oh, you good? You have no mic, eh? No mic? I have your mic. How dare you mute me? All right, guys. Here's your hosts, Will and Chase. Here's your mic back.
Thank you. Hey guys, how is it going? So today we are going to bring in a. Were you gonna say something?
Go ahead. You got this. We're working on your intros.
Today we are going to bring in Anthony of Infamous Hockey.
First of all, Chase, you're out from quarantine now? How was life after COVID?
Huh?
How was life after COVID?
Boring because my mom won't let me play Rocket League.
Well, you got a lot of practice to do this week. All right. So who do we got today?
Anthony from Infamous Hockey.
Anthony from Infamous Hockey, and I think they're out in California. So this should be a really good episode. A lot of good things about Infamous Hockey. So without further ado, we'll bring up Anthony here in a minute.
That's your cue, Austin.
You're failing, producer. There he is.
Hey,
All right.
hey, how's it going?
Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Awesome. Really happy to be here, guys. How you doing?
Awesome. It's been an interesting couple weeks being down, Chase having COVID and all, and giving us a little break. But
I
now
wouldn't
we're back
say
to
interesting. I'd say a very fun time. I got to sit in a bed, play video games, and watch TV all day, and talk to my girlfriend all day. So I mean, I was chilling.
Well, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, but I finally get to skate again, and I miss skating a lot. So waking up at 5:45 a.m. to get to the rink. I don't know if that's my favorite part or if skating's my favorite part, but either way.
I'm going to go with skating. I'm going to go with skating on that one.
Yeah, I do love skating. It's really fun. And my coach, though, he pushes me so hard, and I have a 2-hour practice with him in the morning. So I don't know if I'm excited for that or I don't know.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Infamous Hockey, how you guys came up with the idea, where it started, and what it is about.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So Infamous Hockey, we started, nearly 2 years ago, we started kind of with the idea and started building the building blocks to be infamous. We officially launched publicly last April, right in the heart of a pandemic. So it was a little crazy. We started because necessity is what we thought, right? So we just felt that there's this huge gap in the US market for youth hockey, specifically around sticks in the beginning, and getting a high quality stick that catered towards youth.
Oh my God. There we go.
Oh, sorry. So sorry. We had a technical difficulty with the producer. I'm so sorry.
All right.
No worries.
All right. Keep going.
Yeah, so pretty much we just started, and we started as a company that wants to make a high quality youth product for them, specifically a hockey stick, because we felt that the elite level player wasn't necessarily getting taken care of the way they should have, and at the price that makes it accessible. So we kind of started this journey to be a community-based brand. That's what we call it, and that's what we live by is, we're here to really kind of support the community and come out with innovative products that are really going to help people, just play the game.
So it's geared more towards youth players, you say?
That's how we started, and we're going to continue that focus, but we do have an adult line, and intermediate line also now.
Okay. And what kind of stuff do you guys have right now that's out for sale that people watching can buy for their kids that are playing?
So right now, our core product is really hockey sticks, right? So we come out with, multiple, we have the Elite 1 and we have the Elite 2. That's coming up. Got ahead of myself. We have the Elite 1 and we have the Raptor out right now. So we have full 18K hockey sticks. The youth stick is a junior hockey stick, junior size shaft, but a youth size, height basically. So you really, what the key is, you'll get a 20 flex stick that you don't have to cut. So you get a true 20 flex stick. we come out in low and mid kick options versus just the historic mid kick. So we kind of give the youth hockey player those options, right? And then we come out with other features in our youth hockey sticks like Pro Grip, an enhanced fill blade where we use extra carbon fiber to really give you the feel of the puck. We use like 3D raised grip, things like that. That's usually found in the top tier pro sticks in a youth stick, in a youth junior stick. And then our adult stick is called the Raptor, and that's a low kick model stick that we came out with that we had a lot of hype around us. A lot of people were asking about, hey, do you guys do adult sticks? Do you do intermediate sticks? So we took the chance during the holidays, and we came out with the Raptor, which is kind of a modified version of the Elite One. We came out that in the holidays, and it's really taken off. That's actually been our biggest seller. Contrary to what we thought in the beginning, we didn't think we'd have a chance to sell an adult stick, but it's been extremely popular for us.
So are you guys only can be ordered off the websites? Are you guys in some stores yet, or?
No. So, that's one of the things we do is we sell direct. We've talked to a couple local pro shops that want to carry us. So we'll be in those, but our goal is to pass that savings on to the players. And that's where you see the most. I mean, we give a full 18K hockey stick that starts as low as $70.
Wow.
That's just unheard of. You know what I mean? Our most expensive stick is $140 right now. So we pass on all that savings by doing it direct. That's kind of, our core value, and it would be kind of going against our core value if we had to raise those prices.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's got to be affordable for everybody. And, hockey is definitely a sport that is all ages, all levels. And even, you were talking about breaking into the adult market. There are some adults that are just starting hockey and don't really want to spend a fortune when you're just learning, because if you break sticks or, you get the wrong stick, then this sounds like a really viable option. We got a comment here from Sandra. It says, thank you, Infamous Hockey, for creating more options catered to youth. And Sandra Murray, she's out of Michigan. She's very, very big into our show and supporting us. So that's really good to hear. A lot of people will appreciate.
I wouldn't say she's very big into our show. I'd say she's very big into our family.
Yeah,
awesome.
She definitely is.
Well, hi, Sandra, and no problem. Thank you for the great comment, and that's what we're looking to do, is just do things different. That's one of the consistent things that we have. We want to lead with innovation and just how can we conduct business differently in this community.
Right.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, especially with a lot of the even higher elite level kids who are of a younger age, don't really have the options, kind of like you were talking about a little while ago. And so it's just really good to give those elite level players who are of the younger ages the ability to be able to choose and actually enhance their gameplay by using a better stick. So that's really good that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, thanks. And that's kind of our philosophy too. We tell everyone, because we'll get comments where they'll say, man, they used the infamous stick and they scored 4 goals their first game. And I'll always tell them, I'll say, hey, that's the foundation that you built. That's you as a player, hustling, getting your shot correctly, learning how to shoot the puck. The infamous our twig is just helping enhance what you've built, and so that's kind of what we're here for.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard, because I've heard people say, oh yeah, that's because of our stick, like, oh yeah, and stuff like that. But that's actually one of the best things I've ever heard, because you're talking about it's you as a player who developed those skills. We're just hoping you enhance and harness those skills. That's really cool.
Exactly. And that speaks to who we are as a company. We started as just a purely hockey stick company, and we did apparel and things like that. And then what we did from there is we started to find out how can we help the community, get better at the sport we love. So I think I've told you guys this through past conversations, is that, there's companies that start that are for profit. We are a for-profit company, but what we do is we reinvest that profit into the community. So we've come out with things like Infamous Hockey Clinics. We're coming out with Infamous Hockey Camps, where we're partnering with some of the best camp providers in the nation to have a touring camp that's affordable for youth. We're reinvesting in, just various ways. I don't know if you've seen, we actually came out with an app. The app is completely free, but it was born out of, hey, we want kids to do this 10,000 puck challenge. We want them to get their shot better.
Mhm.
So we're coming out with an app that's going to help you track that. And if you end up hitting that 10,000 mark, we're going to reward you for doing that. So we're coming out with these innovative ways to try to engage the hockey community to pick up a stick. And, we want it to be an Infamous stick, but if it's a Bauer CCM or any other company, we don't care as long as you're out there getting better at what you're doing.
That's what it's about. It's all about making the game better and making the game for everybody. Landon Miller's watching, it looks like on YouTube. I don't know if you know who that is, but he says Infamous Hockey is an awesome company. So you guys obviously have a little bit of a reputation out there already for being as young as you guys are.
Yeah, Landon is awesome. Landon, he's over from the Midwest, actually Detroit, I believe. Awesome player. We watch all his videos closely on Instagram. He's doing great. So keep up the hustle, Landon.
Is he using a lot of Infamous product?
No, he actually doesn't yet, but I know he really wants one coming up. He has a lower flex stick, but we're going to make sure that we have something coming out soon for him.
Right. That's awesome. And I know we talked a little bit before the show, but you were talking about something that Infamous did for a little boy up in Colorado. You want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So we are, we're all about the community. So one thing that we first did is our first 4 hockey sticks that were, hot off the press all went to kids that, overcame major obstacles like cancer and other things. And we donated those sticks to them, hockey players that needed it the most.
That's incredible.
That's definitely a really special thing to hear. I mean, just letting those kids who may have not had the opportunity before you guys help them just be able to play and love the sport is definitely a huge thing, especially in today's society. Just having something that little kids can love to do, no matter if they are in hardship or not.
Yeah, and actually, if you don't mind, I'll actually give a quick plug to a really good company if you're okay with that.
Oh, absolutely. We're all about everybody, so
Yeah.
absolutely.
So the way that whole thing came about was this is actually prior to Infamous. I was, I'm a huge Colorado Avalanche fan. I told you guys that before.
Yep.
So, I was just on, a couple different forums and groups, and someone had a comment saying that they were giving away a jersey for a birthday. And so I'm going through the comments because I was thinking this is a really cool thing that someone's doing. And a person, an amazing guy named Martin Richardson, basically commented saying, hey, I know a little girl who's overcoming some tough things through our organization. We want to donate a jersey. He ended up not getting that jersey. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, I didn't know him at the time. I was like, if this is true, you know what? I'll buy a jersey. I'll have it shipped to you. So we ended up buying this little girl a Landeskog jersey. From that jersey, a relationship was built. I learned more about his nonprofit called Dog Nation. Which I challenge everyone who's listening, take a look at Dog Nation, see what they're doing. It's an amazing organization that's really built around helping hockey players that, have overcame obstacles. And so what happened was, we did that when we launched Infamous. He's the first person I called and I said, hey, let me get some sticks out to kids who need it. Do you know anybody? I sent him the sticks and, that's kind of how that happened. But it wouldn't have been possible without someone like Dog Nation doing what they do. That's purely just helping people.
So Dog Nation. So where can people find Dog Nation at? Do they have a website or?
Yeah, so it's dognation.com. And then they also have a Facebook, Dog Nation Facebook. And they do some amazing things that they'll have auctions. They're really close with the Avalanche. So if you want some really cool Avalanche gear, you could, do auctions through them and win some stuff from, I saw Bednar, Million, like Landeskog. They'll all do stuff through him.
So that's dognation.com, like dognation.com?
DAWG.
DAWGnation.com. Okay, we'll throw that up here on the screen for everybody to see so they can check it out as well.
Awesome.
Speaking of, I know you want to put a little plug in there, but I think we have an announcement to make, Chase, to everybody that's watching, don't we?
Yes.
Anthony, you want to make the announcement?
So let's see. The first one is that we're going to be sponsoring Split and Twigs, the podcast. So is that the one that you're looking for?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Twigs will be now teamed up with Blade Tech Hockey and Infamous Hockey to keep bringing you great content and great shows.
Yeah, and we're excited about that. One thing I stress is we're a different company where some people will reach out and try to do a lot of things. We like when people come to us and try to find us, because we don't want to be that pushy company.
Mhm.
So Chase, I'll give this, completely the kudos to you. You reached out to us to be on this podcast, and we're like, hey, let's do it. You reached out to, just have a quick conversation. And after getting to know Chase, it was completely evident that, Chase is in this for the right reasons. And that's something we want to be a part of. So thank you for what you guys do. And we just want to help enhance that show and,
We
do
appreciate
anything we can do.
Yeah, we appreciate it greatly. I mean, with everything you guys have done, we might as well be sponsoring you because you guys have done so much for the community. That's what it's all about. Like you said, it's not for profit. It's for
It's
the community. That's what it is. Sorry, I blank sometimes. It's for the community. It's
No
for the
worries.
community. Sorry, I was looking for the word that I needed. It's for the community, and it's just to let young kids who want to play hockey or want that edge on hockey, who are at elite levels, to just be able to play and enjoy the sport.
Exactly. Awesome.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So, where do you guys plan to go with your company in the future? Like, what are you guys striving for?
So, honestly, our goal is to just continue to release different hockey sticks. I had a conversation with the customer recently. He is a past user of the first stick that we actually launched. He was probably ordered the first month actually, and we announced that we're coming out with an Elite 2 hockey stick, and so he reached out about that, and I think his comments are what this company's all about. He said, you have a lot of youth brands that come out with hockey sticks, and what they end up doing is they have the same hockey stick that's every year. Every year they're just coming out with the same thing, or they're not changing it. They're not coming out with nothing new. So our goal is to continue to come out with something every year that's different, innovative, and really tries to push the market forward. And just think of different ways to kind of help that vision. I don't know if you guys seen our Sized Up promotion or Sized Up program. That's the first thing that we just launched about 2 weeks ago, and it kind of speaks to what our company is about, right? So it's an industry first. What we're actually doing now is kids, they're growing up, right? Especially at that age group. You could have a hockey stick today that doesn't fit you in a month, right? That's just how it is. You're growing so fast. So we're doing something to where if you buy an Infamous hockey stick going forward, you're getting 20% off. It's our way to help alleviate the pressure of having to buy new sticks because you're growing up, right? And that's obviously not the stipulation is you have to grow up. I mean, if you break a hockey stick, if you do anything and you're a past customer of Infamous, you have that cushion to get 20% off a future twig. So our future is really just trying to come up with innovative ways to grow the market, to grow, with hockey, right? And then the other thing is you kind of saw we're kind of trying to work in other avenues to help the community. So that's where we got the clinics and the camps coming. This weekend, I wore my Infamous hockey jersey. And the reason why, thanks. The reason why I wore this is because we created an Infamous hockey team. We fully sponsor a team, and they're actually playing their first set of games this weekend in Erie, Pennsylvania. So it's what we're trying to do is build these teams that, one, they're high caliber, two, they're getting just amazing training, right? So you have the best coaches out. We have, one of the coaches for this team, he was drafted by the Minnesota North Stars, right? So you're getting top tier coaches, and you get mindset coaching. So someone that's going to tell you how to stay in the game. How is your mindset part of this game? How are you going to grow your mindset to keep up with your skills? Because that's a forgotten part of this whole equation, right? And then only that, we're doing off ice training, and not just stick handling off ice. We're giving you fitness off ice catered to your age group, right? So we're trying to come up with ways to make the complete hockey player, and develop them. So that's kind of where we're going next. Is there's different avenues that really help the community grow.
That's awesome. So we got another comment up here from Landon we'll throw up real quick. Thanks for the kind words, Anthony. Can't wait to get my hands on an Infamous hockey stick and score. And he's working on his 10,000 pucks too. And then we actually have a question for you, Anthony, from Sandra. What is the difference between Elite 1 and Elite 2? Absolutely love the 20% off for future sticks.
Awesome. So that's a good question, Sandra. And actually, this will be the first it's ever public. So the Elite One and the Elite Two. So what we're actually doing is we are taking a different twist on it. So the Elite One was kind of our first shot at it. We released it in mid kick, and then we did a special edition that was a low kick, and then it was a full 18K carbon fiber. What we're actually doing is we're actually going to go with an 18K carbon fiber shaft. We're actually fusing it with a fused one piece with a 12K blade that's supposed to kind of help more fill. But the big change is just our philosophy on keeping things different. So you probably have seen this. There's a rush to get a lighter stick, lighter stick, lighter stick. Well, one, with lighter sticks, you're going to have more breaks. That's just the truth of it. You're eliminating layers of carbon fiber. Your sticks are going to break more, right?
That makes sense.
Two, they don't cater to the players that are slap shots. They don't cater to defensemen. They don't cater to the long range player, right? So we're actually going against that philosophy, and we're going to actually increase the weight of the Elite Two slightly to actually make it for that style of player, for the mid to long range player that's relying on the slap shots, snapshots, things like that. And then we're going to have the Raptor actually. So no one's actually heard this also. The Raptor is now going to officially come out in the lower flexes all the way down to 17 flex. And that's going to be for your sniper and your forward position.
Dang, that's amazing. And yeah, that's amazing how much, like, how many different flexes, like you said, it's going to go all the way down to 17. And that's so sick because, you have those kids who maybe weigh 120 pounds, but like a 50 flex or a 55 flex stick. And they actually have the option to choose that, whether than like, you have Bauer and you go from 55 to 65 to 70 to 75, 77. And so you don't really have that diverse options, but with your stick you do, and you still have the same quality as the top brand. So it's just amazing to know that like you have all those options while not losing out on quality.
Exactly.
Which that seems to be what it's all about, because I mean the biggest thing is just making a stick that's really, like, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like good for every player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's our goal.
Well-rounded.
Yeah, well-rounded for every player. That's the word I was looking for.
Exactly.
So speaking of finding that fine balance between durability, lightweight, and I know Sandra had mentioned something about, that they love the stuff you do with the 20% off for up, sizing up. Your guys' warranty is a little bit different than everybody else's, isn't it? I mean, it's geared more towards making it easier for the hockey players.
Yeah, so we do a 60-day warranty. We've done that since the start, but we really just don't ask questions. That's the biggest thing, and we believe in our product. Not a lot of companies will tell you this, but in the last year, we've been fortunate. We've only had four warranty replacement issues, right? Wow. And the whole thing is the way we handle that is we just tell you, hey, send a picture. You send a picture. We verify that it's our stick and it's broken, or it's not performing as it should, and we send you a new stick. That's as simple as it is. We don't want you to go through any hoops and hassles. We want to make sure that you're on the ice ready to play and you believe in the stick that you're using.
That's awesome, especially with junior hockey players that are traveling all the time and stuff, just to take that little bit of extra stress off them. I know I billeted for a while, and that was our billet kids. That was always one of their biggest problems was, man, we just broke a stick. Now we got to figure out how to get it warranted because we're just outside that time. And to take that ease off, or that burden off of them, is really huge.
Yeah. And I'll actually tell you an interesting story. So we were in Arizona. My son was in Arizona playing. He's a younger player. He's a mite. But I kind of told you earlier about this program that's really high level. So it was a 14-year Bantam team. A couple of the players used our stick. So we went to go watch them. And one player absolutely loves our twig. And so he was using it he's been using it for a few months. In his second game, basically his twig got checked. It accepted a body check and the stick broke. Nobody will warranty that. When I got home, I know that team personally. I went, grabbed him a new twig, delivered it, said, here you go. And they were just, dumbfounded that we actually replaced that stick for them. But that's just what we do. We want to keep you on the ice, He was within that 60 days, so we got you a new stick.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing, because you see all these other big companies like Bauer, who it's a 30-day warranty, but you have to send a picture of the stick. You have to give them like a whole 500-word essay on how you broke the stick.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to like send them a video of the stick breaking and all this other stuff. Is crazy, but it's just amazing to know that there are companies out there who actually trust their customers and actually trust the fact that like the stick broke, it is what it is. It's in that 60-day. That's what they paid for. Like yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
Yeah, in the end, we're a company that understands that we're here because of our customers. We understand how hard it is to take that leap to go with a small manufacturer, a small company, and trust your kid using their product when they can be using one of the big names in hockey, right? So we want to reward them for that and make sure we take care of them to the best of our ability.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, like making, because I'm sure like once all these families figure out that your stick is just the same quality as one of these higher brand people like Bauer CCM, like they're gonna understand like, oh wow, I can really use the stick and trust my son with it. And that's gonna be amazing when you guys are up there with CCM, Bauer, True, all of them.
Yeah, and we've been really at this going hard. So we're kind of making a name for ourselves, which is great. But want to remind everyone, there's a lot of other great boutique hockey stick brands. There's not just us, Infamous. We're Infamous, but you have Dilly, who's good. You have Raven, who's great. You have Battle Mode. You have a ton of youth hockey brands that are awesome. That I think people should try. I do a lot of market research for our stick, and I think our stick performs as well or better than most. But I want to make sure that people know that you don't have to stay with one of the big hockey brands. You have options, and all of these options. You're supporting a small hockey business that's just trying to make it right and just trying to do things different.
And that's something that I noticed. I can't speak for hockey stores around the nation because obviously I haven't been to them all. But, you go to a hockey store here in Arizona and all you have is really an adult line. I mean, we go to the hockey stores and you see a lot of young hockey players. And let's be honest, the way hockey is, as you get older and older, the amount of players gets less and less, yet the stores are catered all towards adults and they don't really carry youth lines around here. And that would be something that would be awesome to see because it gives people a better option for their age.
I think they have one 5-foot-long rack of youth hockey sticks, and I think it goes down to like 10 and up to 40 or something for flex, and it's just like I think there's like 10 sticks in it too. So
yeah, and I mean, there's one I won't ever say the brand, but there's major manufacturer, probably the top youth hockey stick sold. If you actually go and use it, and people might know after I say this, but you start using the stick, you're going to notice the paint's going to rub off the blade, and the blade's plastic. It's not even a composite material. It's not built. The blade, you could take it and flex it and bend it, which you don't want in a hockey stick. You want a rigid blade, right? To take that shot, to build that foundation of your shot. So a lot of brands just cut those corners because they think youth hockey players don't need it. But I'm here to tell you, we've been making a difference. Youth hockey players do want that premium stick. They want a better quality stick that's going to help their skills grow.
Right.
So, my hope is, obviously we want to continue growing, but my hope is youth hockey as a whole, they start thinking about that more. I hope that the bigger brands start thinking about the youth hockey player more, and they come out with more products like their top tier line at an affordable price though, right? Because who wants to play, $250 for a youth stick? They need to do it, reasonable.
Which I 100% agree with, because like you see like all these sticks that are over like $300 for like high end players, which obviously when you're at that high end level, a lot of people don't care because you're playing at that level. But like when you're playing Bantam AA hockey, or not Bantam, but like Pee Wee AA hockey, a lot of parents aren't going to want to put that money forth to like give them a higher. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. Until like, I don't know what I'm trying to do. Yeah, that to like
Focus 15-year-old.
to like give them a higher to like give them that edge, because a lot of people aren't willing to spend that money even if they're at that higher level, and it's just amazing to know like you give that higher level, but you give it at the affordable price,
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? All right, so there's going to be an episode on the Sheriff podcast, which is a really good show, and we were on there the other day, but he records his then release them, so it's not out yet. But one thing we talked about on there was no matter what age you are, no matter what skill level you are, where does everybody always end up in their hockey career?
The men's league.
In the men's league, everybody at some point.
It doesn't matter if you go to the men's league right after you age out at 18 or 19 or 21, 24, whenever you age out of juniors, or if you end up there after 35 after being Ovechkin scoring 100 goals.
I think it seems like Yager's the exception to that rule right now.
Yeah. Beast.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't think that guy's ever going to retire.
Yeah, I don't know how he stayed in shape enough to just hop right back into the league like it's nothing.
Yep, exactly.
That's crazy, and he's just as good, if not better, than he used to be.
Oh yeah.
It's
He's
just
amazing.
So I don't know if we'll talk hockey a little bit. So I don't know if you heard the news or not, but Anthony, we're friends now. Here by the fall time, we can't be friends. So with the Seattle Kraken coming in, we're moving divisions from Arizona, and we'll now be in Colorado's division as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Arizona's moving to the Central with the Blackhawks, the Colorado Avalanche stuff. So I think we're gonna have some trash talking during that.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Most likely, yeah. It'll be all in good fun, though. I mean, there's only a few teams that I really can't stand. One just happens to be my local team, but the Arizona, I'm not. They're a good team right now.
Well, Arizona's a good team because they don't talk trash because they don't have anything to back it up because they're not good.
So
you guys had a run last year.
Yeah, and it ended in the first round after we got swept.
Yeah,
I think it was by the Predators, right? We got swept by the Predators.
I don't remember who it was last year.
Yeah,
I was in Greenland last year. So we got a comment here from Kerry Goulet, who's the Gooch. He's got the Gooch Hockey Podcast. Says, "Looks great, guys. Gooch, it's good to see you out there watching." So Anthony, our producer's doing some behind the scenes stuff while we're sitting here talking hockey.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to bring up here your Raptor stick, I believe it is. You want to kind of, for everybody that can see this, explain what all this is to us.
Yeah, so that's the Raptor, and basically what we have here is it's a full 18K carbon fiber stick. We have a 3D raised grip, so it's grip coated just like most standard hockey sticks, where you have the tackiness. But what we also do is we put little spleens on the back of the shaft of the stick to allow a better feel to where you can actually feel it through your gloves where the shaft is and where it should be. It gives a little bit better control. The ultralight variable layer technology, that basically means we're precision layering it to where it's shooting as we want to shoot. So it's a lower kick. That's what the Power Max taper is, but it's a whippier stick. It adds a lot of power to your shot. And then the enhanced control blade, what we do is we actually add horizontal layers of carbon fiber over the foam. So most hockey sticks typically have just a foam core wrapped in carbon fiber. We actually put strips so you get better feel in the blade. And the last thing we do is, and it was pretty innovative when we did it, but now I've seen a couple people start to do this. But most of the time, what you'll see is if you have a grip on your actual blade, is it's usually like a painted grip where it will actually kind of flake off. A couple of major manufacturers did that. What we do is we actually have it's like an etched blade, so the actual grip is etched into the blade. So if you wanted to, you can literally take this stick off the shelf, you know what I mean, pull off the wrapper and actually go play. You don't need tape. Tape's not required. It will grip the puck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I haven't had tape on my stick for like 3 weeks because I took it off one time and I just forgot to put it back on. So I've been using the True Project X without tape. It works fine.
Nice.
Except my coach yells at me when I don't hit the net, and I've been missing the net recently a lot.
Oh no, it's the tape.
And I don't know if it's related or not, but I haven't told my coach that I don't have tape on it in fear of my coach.
Oh no,
I just can't find any tape.
Oh yeah, you better get some tape. That's important.
all right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to ask the question. So we had Tim Turk on a couple weeks ago. He's an NHL coach for a few different teams, and the dude is like the god of gods when it comes to knowing how to shoot pucks. I'm going to ask you, Anthony, as a creator and an owner of a hockey stick company, does tape matter? So Chase, when Chase tapes his stick, he tapes like this much of the edge of the
No, I
blade, and that's it.
don't.
I tape the whole blade. What is the
No,
owner of? Hold
I
on.
can't tape
What
the
is
whole
the owner of a hockey stick company? What is your take on taping a stick?
So I think, tape, I think is super important. Even, we use Infamous sticks, obviously, and we still use tape, just it's out of necessity, wax too. I definitely think it matters. It allows more control on the puck when you're actually shooting. It's
Mhm.
creating that enhanced spin, but more importantly, it's keeping the puck on the blade when you're stick handling. So I definitely think it's important.
Awesome. So we got a question up here. My producer stepped down for a minute, but from a local coach here, Bill Mozenko. What is the best way to determine which flex is best for a player?
It's height and weight. That's usually you're trying to go at least the flex that's half of your weight. And so what we do is we actually take player profiles. And basically, what we do is we look at average heights, and
Mhm.
then we determine the flex like that. So if you're 47 inches or lower, you will go with a 20 flex. So that's kind of how we determine ours. So
Okay.
for us, it's purely off height. That's the best way. But typically, height and weight is your two indicators.
Wouldn't personal preference
Preference.
preference also play a role in it? Because like you see these big hockey players who are like 230 pounds, at that point you'd be like, using like 115 flex stick if you'd have gone off that. But you see these big players like Ovechkin using a 70 to 80 flex stick, and they're rocketing 90-mile-an-hour one-timers. So do you think that personal preference also plays a role in it? Because like maybe some kids like a 70 flex stick where they're like 160 pounds, while others like a 65 flex when they're the same weight,
Yeah, I think as you get older, that totally comes into play. But I think in when you're younger, you really want the right stick for you to develop. If you have a stick that's too whippy, you're not going to learn how to shoot properly, right? And so this also plays into the sticks I recommend, right? So I think the most common thing that you see right now is kids that are just getting in the game, and the parents like, I want a low kick stick that is P28. Cool. Well, that's going to work for you right now, but once you start shooting at all, it's going to go over the net every time. You know what I mean? Like I'm big on use a P92. P92 is the perfect stick. It's the all around curve, right? And then using the mid kick, learn how to proper positioning, learn how to properly roll the puck off your blade, learn those key fundamentals to develop your shot, and then go and get the fancy toe curves and things like that. I think that all goes hand in hand and plays. But I think at the younger ages, it's key to where you're in the right flex, you're in the right curve, you're in the right kick, and you're developing your shot before you get too fancy.
I would 100% agree with that, and I see where you're coming from. Like, because you never know, like at those younger ages, you can like even at my age, you could switch positions at any time. Like I play forward, but because of my height, I could very well be put at defense randomly.
Yeah.
And so I think it's also important to, like you said, develop your shot at younger ages, because you never know. And like you said, use that mid or kick, because like that's kind of in between, because you have the slap shot kick and then the snapshot and wrist shot kick, which I think is I don't even know the names for them anymore. I forgot. I don't pay attention much anymore. But yeah. So you have those sticks, and then you have the kids who are learning how to shoot like that. And so it's very important for them to understand how to shoot based off their position. Because obviously, when you're at the high point, you're going to be taking long shots, or you're going to be taking slap shots. While if you're a forward, you're going to be taking shots from like the slot to the high circle, if at the highs.
Exactly. Yeah. Just having the right stick for the situation is huge.
Yeah.
So you coach, you volunteer on your off time a lot to coach youth ADM players. What kind of sticks do you see these younger kids using that you're coaching on the ice, Chase?
50-year-old sticks that are literally made from tree branches outside. I swear to God, these kids have straight curves. These kids are using. You have two types of players when I go out there. You either have the ones that are using sticks they found in their backyard, that's literally a stick, or you have the kids who are using little ADVs on the ice and stuff like that. So it's a very diverse group, because you see the kids, because a lot of those kids don't know how to skate who I coach. So a lot of those kids, though, their parents just say, oh, they need a stick. Okay. Oh, that stick's $20. Here you go.
Yeah.
So
the straight curve is the one that kills me. I get the thought process about it, but then at the same time, I'm a big believer in you hand a kid a stick and how they hold it, that's how they're going to use it. You know what I mean? Have them play around with it for a few minutes, and within the first 10 minutes, you should know. And the curve is so essential to the shot that I'd rather than developing with the curve how to properly shoot. That's just my take on it, and everyone's a little bit different. But my sons, they knew they had a curve right away, and I think it helps them a lot.
Yeah, I can see your logic on that because, like you say, I mean, every kid's gonna grab the stick the way that they feel most comfortable with it. Like, yeah, I was right-handed, so that's kind of why I used a righty stick. I probably could have started out with either one, but I remember it doesn't really have anything to do with this, but like I remember holding the stick with my right hand at top and my left hand at bottom because it was a right-handed stick. So I thought, oh, my right hand needs to go at the top. And then the guy was like, no, your left hand goes on top and your right hand goes on bottom. I was like, what? That doesn't sound right. Are you sure that's how you hold the hockey stick? And it was just so weird.
So I actually was talking to someone, in the hockey stick industry once about that, about, which way you're holding the hockey stick. And they told me something interesting, and I've never really investigated this, but I have to. They're saying so most people, right? So if you're right-handed, you're using a left-handed stick. That's typically how it works, right? Yeah. So what they say is if you're right-handed and you're using a left-handed hockey stick, like most people, typically you're actually more accurate with your shot. Mm-hmm. If you're right-handed and you're using a right-handed hockey stick, you're more powerful with your shot. So when you think about it, I think it kind of makes sense, but I've never actually tested it. I need to test that one day. So it's an interesting way to think.
I'll have to ask him that.
Yeah, that's crazy because I have a really hard shot and I'm right-handed and use my and shoot right-handed.
Yeah.
But I can't aim, but I could launch like my coach said. He told me, I think it was Monday. He said, you have a really hard shot. He said you could shoot the puck 1,000,000 miles an hour, but if you can't hit the dang net, nobody's gonna pick you up. I was like, yeah, I think I need to learn how to hit the net. Yeah. Like I can hit the net just fine outside, but every time I get on the ice, I always put it like an inch above the crossbar. It's so funny.
So close. Yeah. Nice.
So we talked a lot about your hockey stick lineup, but what else does Infamous have out there? I know I've seen some training stuff, some apparel, and then what else do you guys want to come out with in the future?
Yeah, so we sell some training items, and basically what we kind of try to do is we're trying to have a shop where someone could go and buy multiple things. So it might not be something that we specifically made, like we carry Howie's hockey, you know what I mean? We're going to carry the best in the business of certain items. Apparel is a big thing, and I'll talk about that more in a sec. But one thing that we're actually trying to do also is, we're trying to come out with, we're not trying to come out with training products. Let me phrase this correctly. One thing that I see a lot of is kids getting into these training products that they're paying a ton of money for. Whether it be a defender or a dangler and stuff like that. So what we're actually going to try to do later on this year is, things like balance boards, stuff like that. What we're actually going to do is come out with bulk purchases to where we can actually get these items that people are using, but at a much more affordable cost for them. So it's kind of our way to, get things into the community that, everyone's looking for, but is kind of high priced. So that's kind of one thing that we're doing in terms of training products. And she brought that up. That's a big one. Apparel. So we do sell apparel. We also help teams with their apparel. So we'll come out with team shirts and things like that for teams to help them out. We've done custom team bags, things like that. But that comes into another announcement that we're going to announce on the show.
Another announcement?
Yeah. So one of the things about this community in general, and I think this podcast actually attests to that, the people you meet in this industry are just next level. You know what I mean? Like we're able to build relationships. And Infamous Hockey, one of the first sticks we built was or sold was to a person that was local. And I noticed his email address and it said Donnybrook Hockey Club. And I was like, oh, what's Donnybrook Hockey Club? So I went to this website, and I was like, wow, do you own a hockey brand? And, so this gentleman, he owned a hockey brand. His name's Paul. So, I loved his designs. So me and Paul ended up becoming friends. And, the Elite One, I'll tell you, it plays into the hockey stick. The Elite One, creating the Elite One, that graphic design had to take a month to a month and a half. It was a pain. Like
Hmm.
the designer, he was good, but it was a very big disconnect saying, hey, this is what I want. This
Hmm.
is my vision to him executing the vision. It would go through 20 stages, you know? I met Paul and he was a great graphic designer. And, I told him, I was like, hey, have you ever wanted to design a hockey stick? He said, yeah. And so I was like, hey, let's try this out. So the Raptor, he designed the Raptor. That stick was done in a week and a half.
Oh,
Like I
wow.
told him my vision. He executed the first concept he gave me. It maybe had 2 or 3 edits. It was perfect. Paul's an amazing graphic designer. I'll tell you the Elite 2 in a second too. But yeah, so he's just a great designer. So first the announcement. So Paul and I synced up and we talked about, Tawny Brook is from California,
Hmm.
Infamous is from California. West Coast hockey is starting to get more represented, but how do we help little smaller brands, develop? How do we, really push West Coast hockey to the front? So Paul and I decided we're launching a new brand. It's actually the West Coast Hockey Company.
The
So
West Coast Hockey Company.
exactly.
So, what
And
is the West Coast Hockey Company going to be about?
so we're going to be an apparel company too. So you're going to get some awesome apparel that's provided for the West Coast. That's really West Coast centric. So we're focusing on states like California, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, really pushing the West Coast hockey programs out there, right? So
Mhm.
we're going to come out with apparel specific to them. But more importantly, we're also linking up with teams. So whether it's junior teams, semi-pro teams, youth teams that really don't have an avenue to produce their apparel, and we're actually taking that on for them, producing their apparel and helping them market it online. So really trying to help those brands come out. It's also going to be a one-stop source for. We're going to have youth hockey stats, youth hockey tournaments that are on the West Coast, player profiles, things like that to really, create a focus on West Coast hockey as a whole.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Just like bringing up those tinier companies, especially like with COVID and everything going on, a lot of those companies would sink. And now that you're actually bringing West Coast hockey to actually keep those people afloat, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, you're keeping hockey organizations afloat, you're keeping hockey people or hockey organizations who are coming up like as a company afloat. And it's just amazing to know that you guys are doing that and willing to do that.
Yeah, and it was really spurned from through Infamous. I started getting reach out all the time from people that said, "Hey, can you do this apparel for us? Can you do the shirt for us? Can you do these things for us?" And I was like, "This is not what Infamous is about." Like this, we were just focused on doing that. I was like, "Man, this is tough." And then it just started thinking, and Paul, like I told you, great guy. I started talking to him, and we bounced design ideas all the time. And I was like, "This is the perfect person for this." So we decided to link. It's the best of both worlds. You're bringing Infamous and Donnybrook together. You're creating West Coast hockey, and we're going to have that one-stop shop for the West Coast people. I know the East Coast has a lot, but it's time to represent what's happening over here worldwide.
Absolutely.
I would 100% agree with that. And yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And the West Coast is definitely expanding their hockey. I mean, with the addition of Seattle, we were discussing the other day, kind of wondering, is the Southwest going to produce any other major teams? And we're kind of stumped by that one. But I think that my guess would be New Mexico because they just added an NA team, I think, this last year.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
You remember what I said? I said that I think that they 100% will add teams to the NHL. I said that it probably won't be for the next 5 to 7 years because of COVID and their financial
That's
stability is down right now. So I think that after COVID is gone and everything with the NHL blows up and they have a surplus amount of funds and resources that they will. But until then, they're not going to do anything. They don't have enough money to do anything.
I'd agree. I think it's possible. I know Bettman said that he didn't want to immediately, but I think you have Oregon who needs a pro team. They need another pro team added to Oregon.
Mhm.
California, we only have 3. You need another one up north. I definitely think Sacramento is a huge market that's not capitalized on. So I definitely think there's a ton of opportunity on the West Coast for another team.
Yeah.
That'd be huge. One thing that if I could kind of throw another shout out and kind of tell another thing, the E2. Since I think it was Sandra asked about the E2. I kind of told you the features, but I definitely want to focus on the design, the graphics, because we're talking about Paul. So we did something really crazy. and it ended up being great. So the E2, we actually had a contest where we just put out there, design your dream twig, and we're going to bring it to life. And so
Mhm.
we had people enter this contest. They submitted designs. We had it voted for on Instagram, and then Leo Sylvie from Pittsburgh actually was the winner of this contest. And so the E2, we're still not releasing the graphics yet, but we spoke to him. We got his initial design. We spoke to him. Me and Paul had a Zoom call with him and just said, hey, what were you trying? I know you drew, like, he drew the actual thing. I was like, what were you trying to go for? Me and Paul sat there, listened to him for 30 minutes talking about what his dream hockey stick was.
Mhm.
And so the E2 is actually coming out. It's player designed by a kid that's a mite over in Pittsburgh.
That is awesome.
Dang, that's amazing. That story kind of reminds me about that one contest. I forgot what team it was, but that one,
The Detroit Red Wings. It was
Yeah.
a show we did a few weeks ago.
the Detroit Red Wing, a 5-year-old kid designed their goalie's helmet, and he wore it in
Oh,
that.
really?
And then after that game, after he wore it in that game, he gave it to the little kid.
Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome.
And everything.
That's awesome.
And that's what it's
Yeah.
all about, like with you guys being geared towards youth hockey, because ultimately, we're all going to get old. We're all going to come off of our hockeyness, and it's these younger kids that are taking over. And if you're not doing enough to keep them engaged, doing enough to keep them included, then ultimately it's going to die off, and it can't die off. Hockey is definitely one of the greatest sports there is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I completely agree. And that's why our mission, the infamous hockey mission, is to make hockey accessible to the next generation of youth hockey players. That's our mission. That's why we founded the company. So, I completely agree with you.
So you live in California. How are you a Colorado Avalanche fan?
I was, since I was a kid, the Nordiques were big, you know what I mean? So I was a hockey fan since I was a kid. I was a Nordiques fan. They became the Colorado Avalanche. I'm a, goalie. That's my position. Patrick Waugh, in my eyes, is the greatest goalie ever, it just maintains. So I will always be a Colorado Avalanche fan. And, it's rough being in Northern California. I'll tell you one thing. So it's funny for me personally. I was a fan forever. The Sharks came out in, I think it was 92. So I was already an established hockey fan for a while. So it's easy for me to maintain. But I'll tell you, my son's an Avalanche fan, never wavers. But there was one time where I could tell you my son, for that brief second, I was like, oh, you better not be a Sharks fan. So I take him to, his first game is game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs for round 2 or round 1 against the Sharks. The season before last, not last season before last. I take him, we go to the Sharks home game. Everything's great. He's completely decked out in Avalanche clothes. Then the pregame starts and the shark starts lowering in the dark and the red smoke's coming out and the Metallica's playing Seek and Destroy. It's lowering, the sharks start coming out of the head, and just seeing his eyes. And I was just like, well, this is what it's about, him being happy. But then the second time I was like, you just better not be a Sharks fan. So, the Avalanche, I will say, and this is part of what you're saying, hockey's just a different sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
That game, Alex, my son's name's Alex. He's number 92. The reason why he's number 92 is he's a big Landeskog fan. That was his favorite player on the Avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
So when he picked his number, he was like, Dad, can you tell Landeskog that I picked his number? And I was like, how do I do that, kid? You know what I mean? What do I do? So I took a picture of him in his uniform and just wrote a quick thing. I tagged Landeskog, tagged the Avalanche. And I said, hey, this is Alex, is your biggest fan in Northern California and Shark territory. Landeskog ended up replying. He said something like, what a stud, Alex. Keep up the great work, And so I post on Twitter every once in a while for Alex, about him. And we would get likes from Colorado Avalanche. So we go to the game. And so this is what saved it over the Sharks' head. So we go to the game. And I take a picture with Alex in the front of the thing. We're like, hey, here to cheer on Landeskog and the Avalanche. I get a direct message from the Avalanche. They say, hey, bring Alex down to the glass. So I bring Alex down to the glass, and we stand there. They take him into the tunnel. He high fives all the Avalanche on their way out to compete against the Sharks. High fives all the players out there. Then someone tells Landeskog Alex is there. Landeskog skates all the way across the ice to Alex, and he gives him a fist bump through the glass, throws him a puck. He ends up getting pucks from it was Comfer, Landeskog, and it was Grubauer. Made this kid's entire year,
That's
so
incredible.
you don't see that in baseball, football. You do every once in a while, but this is the norm in hockey. You know what I mean? And that's why it's such a great sport.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, you see the 3 stars they do after every game for the 3 top players. The Coyotes, if any of them gets the top 3, they'll give them a stick. My most memorable one is Darcy Kemper, the number 35 on the Coyotes, got one of the 3 stars, and he threw his goalie stick over to some little baby. And it was just awesome because that happens every game. Or the Coyotes donating all their playoff sticks and gloves and helmets and stuff just to go to charity and stuff like that. That's just what happens. That's just what they do,
Yeah, it's the norm, and that's what's amazing. That's what's amazing about the sport.
It's all about growing it, Chase. You I don't know if you realize it or not, but you're doing your part by coaching the younger kids and bringing them up just exactly as it should be, growing the sport in the younger kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, and thank you for that, because that's what it's about. Is you have, as great as hockey is, you do also see some kids that are in it for the wrong reasons, right? Or you'll have kids who don't want to take the younger generation under their, once they become peewees and bantams, they don't want to help out the mites. So you're doing the opposite, and that's what makes this sport better, right?
Yeah, another comment from Sandra says, Patrick Roy, I think you struck a nerve here. Vernon and Osgood were my goalies, but I like what you're doing so much, I'll forget that you mentioned Patrick Roy's name, March 26, 1997.
Red Wings fan.
Yep, she is a huge Red Wings fan. And being a Red Wings fan, I got to throw my little plug out there. Dominic Hasek all the way. Greatest goalie ever. You can't change my mind.
So I will actually say, in my eyes, like I always say, Patrick Roy is the greatest goalie ever because he's an Avalanche, and look what he did with them, right? But I would 100% agree that I think Dominic Hasek's the best goalie, hands down.
What about
I would agree.
What about Vasilevsky?
He's getting there.
I mean, yeah, he's getting there, but I mean, if top 2 would have to be Martin Berger and Hasek. Those have to be the top 2.
What about the older goalies, the ones without the helmets, like Al Rollins?
I don't know. I mean, then you're getting
Rollins is because his kid's coming on our show this week.
Yeah. Then you got it's generational, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, funny thing is Paul Donnybrook. Yeah, Paul from Donnybrook is a diehard Detroit Red Wings fan. So you can imagine having to, one, we're good friends now, but 2, we're starting this company together, and he's a Red Wings fan, and I'm a Colorado fan. So there's a lot of animosity every day. So if me and Paul can get over it, the world's a better place.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, it's been awesome, man. A lot learned today. I mean, just about how you guys develop your product and everything else. Anything else you want to say for all the viewers watching, and anything else that you have for them?
I think, the biggest thing I would say is just, stay focused on, this is mainly speaking to the youth and the people that are in hockey, right? Stay focused on the long-term goals. Keep developing yourself, keep hustling. We have a saying with Infamous, it says, stay humble, be infamous. And that's all about really just keeping yourself level-headed and doing your best every single day to get better and know the grind. There's going to be trials and tribulations throughout your hockey career. We all know that happens. Just pushing through, and everything's going to be good. You know what I mean? I know what it can be like to be a hockey player, a youth hockey player specifically. for us as a small company, reach out to us. We're active on Instagram. We'll respond to emails. We're all about getting to know you. You don't have to own an Infamous product to be a part of the Infamous family. Just, message us and just get to know us as a brand and get to know us as, people. And we're here to answer any questions. I've had numerous conversations about, what's the right stick, what's the right gear. We're here to help you with anything you can do. So, my email's anthony@infamoushockey.com. Don't be afraid to reach out.
That's awesome. And the last thing, we talk about our family all the time. Myself, Chase, we got our producers, Austin, and my wife and Chase's mom, Mallory. Who's all behind the scenes with you and Infamous Hockey?
Yep. And I'm extremely happy about the Split and Twigs partnership. So, I think this is going to be something that grows over the year to be something huge. And, we're here to help out in any way we can. And I know that's vice versa also. So I'm really happy about this. And if there's anything that you guys need, if there's anything that your viewers need, feel free to reach out. We're here for, pretty much anything we can do.
Vice versa, like you said. I mean, if you guys need anything at all, we're always here for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Awesome. So, hold on one second. I think we're going to throw your website up here real quick so everybody can just see to make sure that if they're going to go out there, they check it out. My producer is throwing his hands up in the air like he's mad because I threw this at him last minute. There it is. All right. InfamousHockey.com. Everybody check out Infamous Hockey, especially if you've got youth hockey players. They're doing really, really good things for the hockey world and helping grow the sport.
Thank you.
And if you go to our website, splitandtwigs.com, there's direct links to them as well as Blade Tech. So we appreciate your guys' help and everything you do to us. And we're going to turn around and support you guys 1,000% because we absolutely love what you guys are doing to grow the game.
Awesome. Thanks. And, we're gonna throw people your way too. And, I think this is a huge platform and I really love what you guys are doing, not just focusing on brands, but, individual players and stuff like that. I think this is huge. People can, learn so much from podcasts like this.
Absolutely. All right, Chase. So Chase is just if you haven't caught our episodes yet, Chase is amazing at saying goodbye and doing endings. So we're gonna try this again. Chase, you're on the spot. And go.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. All right. Improv dance. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for coming on to the Splitting Twigs podcast. We love you all. All right, I get it.
Oh, man. All right, Anthony, just hang out after. We're going to throw you down here for a minute, and we're going to say goodbye to everybody, hopefully properly, and then we'll chat after the show. All right, Anthony?
Sounds good.
All right, Anthony Cuevas from Infamous Hockey. Thank you very much. Chase.
That's my bad.
Chase, what the hell was that?
Chase, did you die?
What are you doing? What is that?
That's how quick our producer jumps in when Chase messes up.
What are you doing?
All right, guys. Thank you for coming in today. We'll see you later. I'm going to go take a nap now.
All right.
What is wrong with you?
Chase, you're on the spot. And end the show.
Hurry. End it.
Well, that's not how you end the show.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Guys, thanks for being here. You're all amazing. We love your faces. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye.
See how easy that is?
Bye.
You see how easy?
Well, yeah, but you're yelling at him. You got to push the end button.
No, I want him to do it.
Well, he's sitting down. He can't do it. Oh, my goodness. All he's going to do is dance.
Bye, guys. Love you. See you later.